the #1 seed in the WBSC Konami World Softball Rankings, Women's Softball Rankings, USA, taking on #5 Canada. As you see, Ali Carta from that aerial shot from beyond center field. Just a beautiful day here in northern Italy. If it's this hot in northern Italy, you can just imagine what it's like at the other end of the boot. There's Heather Tarr. She said yesterday at the press conference she was honored to be a part of this. She never got to play this high of level herself, but boy, she has certainly inserted herself into the center of the softball world in the USA. One of the most decorated coaches. And now it looks like we're about ready to go. USA using their red uniforms. And Canada in the white tops and the black pants. And the first batter, Kelsey Harshman, is going to step up to the plate against Ali Carta, 31 years of age, former UCLA Bruin, 2020 Olympian. This game starting later than planned. It was originally scheduled for 4:30 p.m. We're going to get underway at about 4:46. So here we go, first pitch. Fouled away, and that's how this one begins. Strike one to Kelsey Harshman. Harshman, born in Tucson, Arizona, but grew up in Delta, British Columbia. One strike to count to her. She stands all the way at the back of the box. That one just missed, burning the outside corner, 1-1. Harshman, a University of Wisconsin-Madison Badger. Awaits a 1-1 pitch from Carta. And there's a strike called. Those last two pitches over the outside edge from Ali Carta. You see Garcia looking in for the signs from Mulipola. Now backs up to first base. The 1-2. Little pop fly towards short. This is playable for Flippin. She's got it for the first out.
Pops out to the shortstop.
Possibly jammed on that pitch.
Yeah, Carta elevates this pitch and Harshman gets under it. Again, Carta using her strengths in all of her pitches, elevating them. And again, getting outs, not necessarily strikeouts, but an outs and out. And so she does a great job getting Harshman to pop it up.
It's really tough to get on top of that rise ball as it's coming in from such a low angle. And Carta, very tall out there in the circle. So Erica Polidori now, left fielder, will step up to the plate, right-hand hitter. 32 years old, born in London, Ontario, but grew up in Brantford, Ontario. All the way on the back of the line with her right foot. That pitch is high from Carta. 1 ball, no strikes.
And you mentioned that with Harshman too, Tim, that both of these Canada players are in the back of the box, giving themselves a little extra time to see the ball. And that can go for any player. That can be different. Some players like to scoot up and take away that rise ball so you can maybe get your hands a little higher and try not to pop up. A lot tend to go to the back and give themselves a little extra time, another foot or two to see the ball, especially with the speed that Carta brings.
Yeah, and of course, that can also play into the hands of a pitcher who has an excellent drop or changeup.
Drop or change, yeah, like drops right in front of the plate. So it's with repetition, you learn what's best for you, and that's not going to be the same case for every athlete.
And of course, it's always different when you get to the World Cup. And so now you see Polidori, she's dug at the back edge of the batter's box. Well, Carta, she swept away all the lines that indicate where the actual front of the pitcher's circle is. Probably to give herself a little freedom there. She's got a very long stride. And that one's inside for ball 4, a 4-pitch walk. Polidori is on. And Amanda, you mentioned it. Canada, an opportunity to be aggressive here now.
Yeah, they can definitely piece together runs and advance runners. Sometimes the best thing to do is play softball, as basic as it is. You have a runner on, do you bunt? Again, Carta brings the power for a long ball. You don't necessarily have to swing as hard as you can. But you have to be aggressive. You have to square up your bat if you're going for that big ball. And Canada needs to capitalize here with a runner on.
And meanwhile, Heather Tarr came over and said something to Renzo Ruiz, and it was specifically referring to that line that Carta had wiped away. And I think she wanted to double check to make sure that that's going to be okay. And Ruiz went out and checked and returns to the spot behind the plate. So that might have been sort of a preemptive meeting with the umpire to make sure that Carter wasn't going to get called for doing anything illegal, wiping that line away. So CC Wong, native of Port Coquitlam, check swing. She went around. That's a strike. Couldn't hold up on the velocity of Carta there. Runner at first base, Erica Polidori. She was not running on that pitch. She took a good lead there. That pitch catches the corner, 0-2. Wong looking down for the signs.
Another element that Carter brings, if you watch in her windup, she hides the ball really well. And so that's another factor in a pitcher with speed is you can't see that ball in their windup. So not only you can't track it, but you're just looking at the pitcher's hip now and almost guessing. And that when you have the ball coming in that fast, I'll tell you firsthand, you can't guess. So that's just another element of Carter's windup that makes her so elite.
1-2 to CC Wong, and that one missed outside, 2-2. Wong was unable to hold up on the first offering, but since has let every other pitch go by. Polidori was aboard on the walk. Wonder if maybe Carta, after kicking around to that dirt, she still hasn't quite found her landing spot, perhaps. Swing and a miss for strike 3. That one gets past Wong, and that'll be the second out. Looked like she just went with the power pitch, not wanting to get too cute. Here it is. See if you can hit it. And Wong was late.
Sometimes that's all you need. When you throw that hard, maybe the hitter's not on it. You saw that check swing that first time. That's a good call. Just go at her in that case.
Here's Callum Pilgrim, and Carta was actually asking for another sequence of signs, I believe. Runner still on first base. Polidori, the pitch. There's a fly ball towards right center field. This is going to get over the head and off the top of the wall. Past Brady, around third, coming to the plate. The throw, not in time. Canada leads as Polidori scores. An RBI double off the bat of Callum Pilgrim, and Canada strikes first.
You can see Pilgrim doesn't even really finish her whole swing. She just puts the bat out where it needs to be. That ball goes all the way to the fence. Carter providing that power, scores a run and puts herself in scoring position, and that's a great at-bat, being aggressive like we've talked about, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, that ball really sailed a lot further than I expected. And now Larissa Franklin is stepping up to the plate. She's the center fielder. Now a runner on second base, a two-out hit could bring home another run. There's one two-out hit. Well, we saw a bunch of two-out hits in the Netherlands-Puerto Rico game. There's a soft roller to the right side fielded by Jefferson. She throws to Garcia for the final out. But the walk and a two-out double off the bat of Callum Pilgrim. And Canada strikes first. They get a run on one hit, no errors, one left. End of a half inning here in Castellons de Estrada. It's Canada 1, USA coming to bat. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup, live on GameTime.sport.
And now, McLean. Batting second, number 37, Hannah Flippen. Batting third, number 18, Amanda Lawrence.
We go to the bottom of the first inning. Canada, with a first inning run, has the lead at the moment, and the USA will come to bat. They will start with Haley McClenny in center field. She's the leadoff hitter. Hannah Flippen bats second. Amanda Lawrence bats third. Jocelyn Allo, the designated player, will bat cleanup. Jessica Warren is batting fifth. Deja Mulipola bats sixth. Janine Jefferson bats seventh. Rachel Garcia eighth, and Maya Brady batting ninth. Defensively, for Canada, Grace Mesmer is at third, Janet Leung at short, Kelsey Harshman at second, Kiana Jones is at first. And I'll let you know the rest after the first pitch from Morgan Rackle. Comes in for a strike to McClenny. The catcher is Zoe Hicks. The outfield from left to right, Erica Polidori, Larissa Franklin, and Callum Pilgrim, who drove home that run in the top of the first inning. One strike the count to Haley McClenny. And the left-hander Morgan Rackle hits the top of the zone on that one, 0-2. So Rackle given a very quick lead here. Let's see what she can do with it here. It's one thing to be aggressive offensively, but now she, from the circle, needs to be aggressive and pound strikes. Like that. Strike three, foul tip held on to by Hicks. And there's one away.
Rackle's one of those pitchers that really uses the spin of the ball to help her pitches, and that's what she's known for. And you see that just curving out and dropping, and McClenny just chasing it, not being able to really get a good swing on it. And that's exactly how Canada's going to have to pitch against this Team USA.
Hannah Flippen trying to bunt, and it goes foul. Well, so far, just like you said, for all the teams, you know, Canada and USA, it doesn't really matter which game you're in. You need to play one inning at a time.
Yeah, at this level, these teams, the power that they bring, anything can happen. And we've seen that earlier already in this tournament. So that's what's making it so exciting. That's what makes this the World Cup. Anything can change. That's
also what makes the sport fantastic. And a swing and a miss. How about 6 straight strikes to start the game? That pitch looked like it was twisting in under the hands of Flippen, and she had no chance to get the bat to it. Excellent movement so far in the early going for Morgan Rackle. Watch this.
And that drop ball again, you see Hannah more or less in the back of the box and just dropping off right as it gets to the plate.
That's 7 consecutive strikes as that pitch fouled away from Amanda Lorenz. Lorenz, 27 years old, Florida Gator. There are a lot of accolades in this lineup for the USA. And the 1-strike pitch, that one is high. 1 ball and 1 strike. The first sign of a breeze can be detected if you look at the flags beyond the center field grandstand. There's a drive to right field. Only question if it's fair or foul, and it is foul. A long strike, 1-2. And, you know, that's how quickly this game can change. 2 energizing strikeouts, but all it takes is 1 swing like that to deflate the balloon for Canada. Fortunately for Rackle, that one was foul. Lawrence would like to straighten that thing out a little bit. 1-2. Popped up left side. Playable down the line for Polidori. She's got it in fair territory for the 3rd out. Morgan Rackle retires the side 1-2-3. Well, 1 inning is in the books, and after that inning, Canada leads 1-0. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup, live on GameTime.sport. We go to the top of the 2nd inning. Canada leading the USA by a score of 1-0. Ali Carta back to work in the circle. She gave up the RBI double off the bat of Callum Pilgrim, and now 6, 7, and 8 in the order. Janet Leung, Zoe Hicks, and Kiana Jones. Janet Leung is 30 years old, went to Brown University. She's also an Olympian, been playing with the national team since 2017 as their main starting shortstop. And she steps in the back of what was left of the batter's box. The batter's box is now gone. And she starts from a very closed position with both feet together. Expect her to stride towards that ball as it comes in. And she pops it up into center field very high. McClenny coming in and puts it away. 1 pitch, 1 out.
And even though that was a 1 pitch at bat, I like it. Leung being a veteran player, a leader for Team Canada, coming out, her stance that is unique, but a timing mechanism. She takes a big hack and just misses that ball. But I think as a leadoff hitter, does a great job kind of giving some confidence to her team.
Yeah, sometimes if you get a pitch you think you can hit, even if it's the first one, it's perfectly okay to take a good hack and pop out. There's a swing and a miss by Zoe Hicks. As you said, I think she just missed it. It was off the barrel. The angle wasn't right.
Well, especially with Carta struggling a little bit in that first inning, she's not going to let that happen too long. She's going to find her rhythm. And so, like we talked about earlier, Canada needs to take advantage of this before Carta gets in her rhythm, starts throwing smoke, starts painting the corners. So they need to start swinging at those first pitches if they think it's something that they can hit.
Yeah. And there's a ground ball pulled, and it gets off the glove of Garcia, but Jefferson is there to recover and flip it right back to her. So that's going to go 3-4-3 on the putout, and Zoe Hicks is retired.
Again, another great contact at bat. You're facing Ali Carta. You're facing USA. You're nervous. It's happening. But again, you're putting the bat on the ball, giving confidence to this team that we're not just striking out. They're not overpowering us right now.
Here's Kiana Jones. And she looks at a ball on the inside corner. Jones is the second youngest player in the lineup for Canada. Cece Wong is younger. Jones, 22 years old. And the pitch. Check swing, but the pitch is on the inside corner. 1-1. Jones from Surrey. Spent 2 years at the University of North Carolina, and then this year went to South Carolina to play in the SEC. Also spent some time at the University of Minnesota 2019 and 2020. The pitch missed inside. 2 balls and strike. And Kiana Jones also sort of a trailblazer. She was the first female coach in the Coastal Plain Baseball League. That's a Woodbat Collegiate Summer League for the Macon Bacon.
The Macon Bacon.
Macon Bacon. I think they used to be called the Macon Music. 2-1 the count to her. And she's out in front of a good off-speed pitch. Just barely got a piece. Count now even 2-2. And, not for nothing, Kiana Jones, second-degree black belt in Taekwondo.
That's intimidating.
2 down, nobody on. 2-2 pitch coming to Kiana Jones. Ali Carta trying to right the ship here and have a quick inning. That one is upstairs, full count. Grace Messmer is on deck.
I'm interested to see if Carta starts to go to the off-speed, to the change-ups, because her hard balls are struggling a little bit.
There's a soft roller to third. Warren up with it, throws across in time to Garcia to get Jones. And the inning is over. A 1-2-3 inning for Ali Carta. We will go to the bottom of the second. Canada leads USA 1-0. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup, live on GameTime.sport. Here. This is the third game of the day on the first day of the tournament. We've got 3 days of pool play and then the super round and the placement rounds followed by the medals. 1-0 Canada leads, and the first pitch to Jocelyn Alo is a strike. Alo, the designated player, 25 years old, from Hula, Hawaii, and an Oklahoma Sooner. She holds the all-time record for the most home runs in the NCAA with 122. Earlier this year, became the first female member of the Savannah Bananas.
That's a fun accomplishment.
Yeah. There's the pitch, and that one is low, goes to the backstop. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Jocelyn Alo. She was 2-time Gatorade State High School Player of the Year back when she was in high school. Obviously has been a part of the national team. Check swing. Did she go around? They are going to appeal. No, says the first base umpire, Sabrina Fabrizi. The count even, 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch. Foul tipped into the mitt of Hicks. That's the 3rd strikeout for Morgan Rackle. among the first 4 hitters she's faced here for Team USA. So 1 down, nobody on. That'll bring up Jessica Warren. Warren, 28 years old, from Tampa, Florida. She was with the team when they played in the Olympics. Florida State Seminole, and the pitch is inside. She has to spin out of the way of that. 1-0. In her career, she had 83 home runs as a Seminole from 2015 to 2018. Just another pedestrian bomber in this lineup. There's a swing and a little squibber to the right side, and it's only for Kiana, excuse me, that's not Kiana Jones. That is CeCe Wong over there who made the play.
And that's a tough play at first. First basemen only go out so far as long as they can get back, and she squares that up in the middle of her body and is able to get back. Not only is that ball spinning, so when that ball's spinning, you're just kind of guessing with what it's doing, but she does a great job.
And so now the hitter is Jessica Warren. First pitch, excuse me, Warren just grounded out. This is Deja Mulipola. Another person, when you say her name, you think of home runs, and particularly long ones. There are some highlights to be found for Deja Mulipola, 26 years old, from Anaheim, California, University of Arizona. And they're going to intentionally walk her, and why not?
Yeah, there's no real breathing room with Team USA's lineup, and that's Team USA for you. But with 2 outs, not a bad idea from Canada to walk her, especially with the lefty coming up. A lefty-lefty.
Jefferson swings and fouls away the first pitch. Janae Jefferson, Texas Longhorn from Houston, Texas. And she's actually the cousin of a former Major League Baseball pitcher, Mike Jackson. I remember him. And she was with Team USA when they won gold in 2022 at the World Games. Shows bunt. The pitch is high. 2-2 with Mulipola on first base and 2 outs. 1-0 Canada leading. But you figure if you get a lead in a game like this against an offense like the USA, you have to play every inning as if it's the bottom of the 7th. And the bunt, and it trickles foul. It was picked up and played through by Zoe Hicks. Just in case, it actually landed on the plate and spun off to the right.
And I think going back to what you said, Rackle's doing a great job on the defensive side, holding them. You know, your offense is producing a run. You're beating Team USA right now. Rackle's striking out those power hitters. So Canada can continue to play this way. This is going to be an amazing game.
Yeah, and how about a pitch right there called on the inside corner for strike 3. 4th strikeout for Morgan Rackle. As you called it, Amanda, she is working these hitters very well so far in the early going. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left at the end of 2. It is 1-0 Canada. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup, live on GameTime.sport. Leading USA, they have 1 run on 1 hit, and so far, that's been it. Ali Carta gave up that run in the first inning. It was an RBI double off the bat of Callum Pilgrim. Right now, it's 9-1-2 in the order. Grace Messmer, and then Kelsey Harshman and Erica Polidori against Ali Carta. Messmer, a right-hand hitter, and she looks at a pitch inside for a ball. 1-0 to Grace from Cloverdale, British Columbia. Also Oregon State. And that off-speed pitch is outside and high, 2-0. Messmer recently took over the third base role from Emma Ensminger, who was a firefighter and is actually taking off the year from playing softball. Had been with the national team. That pitch is high and outside. Carta calling time. She wants to have a chat with Mulipola. Obviously, she's struggling a little bit here. And we mentioned that she was having problems trying to find her landing spot. And right now, she appears to be a little bit flustered by that, maybe frustrated in some way. falling behind 3-0 on the number 9 hitter.
And that's the thing about playing internationally, and as we talk about throughout the tournament, softball growing, playing in Ireland, Italy, getting great opportunities. The fields change. Sometimes you're on turf. When you play in Japan, it's turf. Carta's used to that. But she'll find her groove regardless of her landing spot maybe not being perfect. But being on point with your catcher is what they need to do. They need to be in sync, find their rhythm, and Carta needs to get going. You see Mesmer in the back of the box, like we've talked about, waiting for her pitch, knowing that Carta's struggling a little bit. She's going to give her a pitch that she can hit.
And there's a line drive to right center field, right on cue, and it's going to get cut off. A great job by Brady to cut that ball off in the gap. That ball was ticketed for the wall and extra bases, and Brady just prevented one of those at the very least. It's a single for Mesmer. And as you said, Amanda, she took one pitch and then waited for the next one to be in there and had a very good swing and a solid line drive into right field.
Yeah, she does a great job, great at bat, putting the bat out. Carta's dialing back a little bit because she is struggling. And so Canada, here comes Canada is what we say. They're taking advantage of this situation and being aggressive. And so we have a runner on with no outs, exactly where they want to be. But this is where it's time for them to step up and really prove if they can continue to be aggressive, continue to lead this game.
Well, Kelsey Harshman looks at a strike, first pitch strike, very important pitch in the at-bat. Sometimes if you're the pitcher and you're out there and you're struggling a little bit, you just need to fire a strike one to kind of get into a new positive mindset. 0-1 to Harshman. That one's outside. Canada has done a pretty good job of laying off those borderline pitches in this game.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. And that's, again, where Carta can paint the corners but also make you reach. And so Canada doing their scouting.
And Carter misses upstairs. That one was not close. 2-1. Well, the USA, they were a perfect 4-0 in the last round. In fact, if you go back through several tournaments, the last time they even lost a game, 2018, gold medal game in Japan. Thanks to, excuse me, that was the game they won. I'm talking about the 2014. They came very close to losing that game in 2018. Oh. Came back and beat Japan. Sorry, there's so many games between Japan and USA, it's easy to confuse them. Japan beat them in the gold medal game in 2014. There might have been one more loss in there somewhere. That off speed just missing. Carter really wanted that one. So the count is full 3-2.
Well, USA just beat Japan at the World Games.
Yes, and they beat them in 2018 and 2016. There's a foul. You know, it's difficult to look through all the record and try to find out if there's any individual game that the USA has lost going back years. I know at one point, up until about 2008, I found some source somewhere that said that they had a 185-game winning streak snapped in 2008, and it was snapped at an exhibition game, nonetheless.
Well, that's just another...
There's a liner down the line that is going to hook foul. I mean, the point is, USA is very, very, very tough to beat.
They are, and they dominate the sport. They do, but as kind of the theme of all of this is Japan's tough. All these teams are growing and meshing and kind of changing of the tides with the Olympians leaving and just rebuild years. And so USA does dominate, but you see teams like Canada leading them here in the third inning. So they still dominate, but it's not as easy, I think. And that's just showing you how the game is growing, how other countries are getting better. And that's so great to see, especially from a player's perspective.
Yeah, I mean, the advancement of Puerto Rico, and then you look at Netherlands, and then also not just in softball, but also in baseball, you have Czech Republic, Germany, France. There are programs all over the world, as that pitch is just barely outside for ball 4 to Harshman. And, you know, for many, many, many years, it's been basically a walk in the park for USA and Japan. And, you know, at some point, that's got to change. Is that time now? We don't know, but it's trending in that direction. Let's put it that way. And Carta, meanwhile, after allowing a single and now a walk, has to deal with Polidori And Heather Tarr is out there to meet with the entire infield in the circle. And Harshman also is going to go and have a chat with Kylie Rafter, as well as Polidori in the on-deck circle, strategizing as to what they're going to do. Offensively, on your screen, though, you see the defensive side of things. So anytime there's a little break in the action, you get a chance to get some whispers from your coach.
A lot of the times, you know, depending on the situation, it's just, hey, like, hang in there, or we got this. Sometimes, I don't want to say the coaching aspect of it, but sometimes you don't need anything. And that's a great coach to understand when and when you don't need something, when you don't need to be coached, or when you do.
So now Erica Polidori. She walked and scored the game's only run in the first inning. Up with 2 on. This is a massive opportunity for Canada. And a strike. Big pitch for Carta. Nobody out. No sign of a bunt either by Polidori. And that one is low, 1-1. Very patient. Canada has been patient with Carta. She's walked 2.
You can see Carta favoring that inside portion of the plate.
And that one missed down and in, 2-1. She's just been trying to hit the corners and just hasn't quite gotten it there. There are some days where it just doesn't come out of the hand right. But a lot of times, the longer this game goes, she may find it at any time. Now that one again missing in that same spot, down and in.
Well, as we saw earlier, she's struggling. Even though it's a 3-1 count, you need to be ready because she's going to put something in the strike zone. And that's when you need to be able to capitalize on that air that she leaves over the plate.
And a line drive to right center field. That's a base hit, and it skips past Brady all the way to the wall. Mesmer around third. She's going to come to the plate and score. The throw went to second base. That's an RBI double for Erica Polidori. Harshman is at third, and Canada leads 2-0.
And Polidori does a great job. Exactly what we said is be ready for that pitch. They're not swinging their hardest. You see the ball just jump off the bat because they're hitting it exactly when they need to be, where the barrel needs to be. And Brady made a great play earlier, took a great angle, and this ball gets under a glove. So, again, you can't play any of these 8 teams. You cannot underestimate teams because they're hitting. They're beating USA right now straight out, and USA is going to have to step it up soon.
Cece Wong looks at a strike. She has runners on second and third. The infield is back up the middle. So I presume that means they would give up a run for a ground ball. There's a foul to the screen in front of us. 0-2 on Wong, who struck out her first time. Boy, a big hit. Erica Polidori. And these are not cheap doubles. Pilgrim's was deep to right field. Polidori's was a smash. And you mentioned that Brady made that great play earlier. This one had just skipped right past her. That outfield that's been cooking all day. Swinging a foul tip to the screen. Wong stays alive. It is 2-0 Canada. Still a lot of game left. Obviously, the USA, with lots of firepower in their lineup, they can overturn a 2-0 deficit very quickly. But you want to avoid letting things get out of control. That pitch just missing the outside corner. But if you're Canada, this is where you want to put more pressure on.
Absolutely. Second and third, 1 out. Or no outs.
No outs.
No outs. They need to kind of stay cool, stay collective, and again, play it 1 base at a time.
There's another ground ball that hit the dirt, first foul, and then came back to be fair, and all the runners have to stay put. Wong is out, 3 unassisted. Well, there's some strange spin coming off of these hits.
And that's because the way Carta throws, whether she's struggling, not struggling, hitting her spots, the way she throws so hard and has spin. It's such a tight spin that when it comes off the bat, that spin continues in a whole bunch of different directions. And that's another aspect of this game. And when Carter struggles, what I love about and respect about her is she's the athlete that will push herself to go through struggling, and she'll find a way through it. And so regardless if it's a strikeout or overpowering them, she's getting the outs, and that's what we talked about on both ends. Make sure we get outs no matter how it is.
And that pitch is high, 1 ball and 1 strike to Pilgrim. Pilgrim was the hitter that burned Carter in the first inning with that double to deep right field. Harshman is at third, Polidori is at second. 1 out. That was a very important first out for Ali Carter. 1-1 to Pilgrim. Now the strikeout, of course, is probably her goal. And that's another off-speed pitch. She's thrown 2 of 3, I believe, in this at-bat. First one, she got a swing and a miss. That one was low, 2 balls and 1 strike. More patience from Canada. That one on the inside corner. Pilgrim maybe was hoping it would be called a ball as she immediately reacted. That one catching the inside corner.
I think that's a good take, though. And Carter's struggling. You don't want to swing at a pitch that's going to come off the hands, get another out, give yourself a better opportunity for something.
And actually, that pitch that she took set her up for that one, which ran in on her hands. That was well executed by Carter. Look at this pitch. Just it's
kind of
almost
tails
like,
off at the end, yeah.
It's like a 2-seamer or something, and it just goes in on the hands, and nothing you can do with it. That's a quality pitch from Ali Carter, excuse me. Now Larissa Franklin, it will take a 2-out hit. And she lines one to left field. It's going to hang up long enough for Lawrence to bring it down, and what a job by Carter. Second and third with nobody out after a run was in. She was really struggling, and then a ground out, a strikeout, and a fly out to prevent further damage. So we go to the bottom of the third. Canada gets 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. You wonder if they may rue those 2 base runners later in this game. Bottom of the third inning coming up. Canada leads USA 2-0. Bottom of the third inning coming up. Canada 2, USA nothing. Tim Collins and Amanda Fama from the booth here at Castellans di Strada in the Udine region of northern Italy. Absolutely beautiful day. And Rachel Garcia, Maya Brady, and then the top of the order, Haley McClenny. 8, 9, and 1 against Morgan Rackle, who has been very good. 4 strikeouts and only 1 base runner. And the pitch to Garcia missed inside for a ball. Rachel Garcia, UCLA graduate, won the College World Series in 2019. And that one is low, 2 balls and no strikes. And we talked about the job that Ali Carter did to strand those runners at second and third. She knew that that was an inning where she was going to have to really bear down, fight it, find something to get out of that, and she did. And now it's Rackle's turn. There's a grounder to short, picked by Leung. Throw to first, a little bit of a snow cone, but handled over there by CeCe Wong. And there's 1 away.
We talk about Carter getting out of that inning, leaving those runners on. That's a mental game, too, and that's something that she's amazing at, is the mental side of the game, being able to struggle for a couple innings. But to get the job done with runners in scoring position is huge.
There's a liner caught by the second baseman, Kelsey Harshman, and Maya Brady is retired on 1 pitch.
Lines out to second base.
And speaking of the mental part of the game, sometimes when you're pitching, you have the feeling that no matter what you throw, it's going to get hit. And then other times when you pitch and a ball is hit on the nose and it goes right to your second baseman who barely has to move to catch it, you have this feeling like, oh yeah, okay, I got this. Right now, that's how things seem for Morgan Rackle. There's a ground ball to short, picked by Leung, and that is a quick inning if I ever saw one. 5 pitches, and the side is retired as McClenny bounces out. So Nothing across the board for the USA. We are through 3. It is 2-0 Canada. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup, live on GameTime.sport. Looks like we have had a pitching change, and this is going to be
Pitching change for Team USA.
Kelly Maxwell, of course. The left-hander coming in to replace Ali Carta. Maxwell was a late addition to the USA team. She was with the roster that went to Japan and played 3 games prior to the opening of this tournament. And she's going to face 6, 7, and 8. Janet Leung, Zoe Hicks, and Kiana Jones. So Ali Carta's day is done. Maxwell is in there. Maxwell, 24 years of age. She did 3 years at Oklahoma State and then somewhat controversially defected, if you will, to the Oklahoma Sooners. No, that's switched to the Sooners and won the World Series Most Outstanding Player. In her first ever college career start, she threw a perfect game, and that should sort of tell you how the rest of her career has gone. One of the top talents on this roster. And her first pitch was fouled away by Janet Leung. So Carter goes 3 innings, gives up the 2 runs. Leung looks at a pitch low and inside. Leung hit a fly ball to center field, but we were remarking at the time that she actually had a very good swing at it. And the count 1-1.
And we saw Janet be aggressive here in this at-bat, as she did in her first at-bat.
There's a drive to deep left field going back on that Lorenz. She runs it down in the gap. Nice catch by Amanda Lorenz. Well, Leung put a charge into that one, but it's out number 1.
Yeah, Janet missed that first at-bat, got under it, gets a good piece here. Lorenz tracks it down well. We talked about the field being so big. These players need to know where that outfield fence is and not be scared of it. And Lorenz does a great job.
So now Zoe Hicks looks at a pitch upstairs. Another good swing for Canada. If you're Canada, you got to take away from this game, win or lose, that they are swinging the bats very well so far in this one. Currently leading 2-0. There's a swing and a miss, 1-1. Coming in from Maxwell to Zoe Hicks. Hicks hit that ground ball that deflected off the glove of Garcia, but then Jefferson picked it up and flipped it right back to her. So it was a 3-4-3 putout. 1 away in the 4th. That pitch is low and outside, 2-1. And a pop-up, foul territory. That's going to get over the screen and land beyond the Canadian dugout. So the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Canada scored a run in the first. Callum Pilgrim with an RBI double, scoring Erica Polidori. And then in the 3rd inning, it was Polidori herself driving home Grace Mesmer, who had singled. So a couple of RBI doubles, and that's it. 2 runs, 3 hits. USA does not have a hit yet in this game, as Morgan Rackle has pitched 3 very good innings, only 1 base runner allowed. Last inning, she only needed 5 pitches. There's a foul ball as Hicks able to somehow wait back just long enough and reach out and touch that one to stay alive.
Well, Canada's putting the ball in play. They're hitting the ball hard. That's being aggressive. That's taking advantage of Carta struggling. Now with Maxwell in, they're doing the same thing. They're putting the ball in play. They're not being overpowered. And then we see USA struggling a little bit, strikeouts. I believe Canada only has 2. USA's up to 4. So Canada is, I don't want to say dominating, but they're doing extremely well offensively and need to keep that rolling into defense.
Well, Hicks does strike out there. That last pitch, she was unable to wait long enough, and so now Kiana Jones will step up. We mentioned, you know, in a close game, really anything can happen. And Canada's goal was to keep things as close as possible. So far, so good. against this highly explosive USA team. Maxwell missed on the first pitch to Kiana Jones.
And the thing with Ali Carter's ball is it's so fast, it's hard to catch up to. It moves a lot, but not a lot of breaks sometimes. And so Maxwell, from our vantage point, you can see she's got a little more spin. She's a lefty, so a different, the girls are looking on a different side of the hip as the pitcher's releasing the ball, throwing a little bit off, but her ball looks a little heavy to me. And so meaning that the spin is not as tight as Carter's would be with the spin, but still a little more effective for this Canada offense. And that's going to, I think, lead them into maybe a bit of a rally coming up.
Swing and a miss at a good off-speed pitch. Kiana Jones goes down. 2 strikeouts of the 3 batters. And Kelly Maxwell with a 1-2-3 inning as she comes in relief. Nothing across the board for Canada. Bottom of the 4th inning coming up. It's Canada 2, USA nothing. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.Sport. Through 3 innings, she has allowed only a walk and 4 strikeouts, leading 2-0 Canada over the USA. It'll be 2, 3, and 4. Hannah Flippen, Amanda Lorenz, who made that great catch last inning, and Jocelyn Allo. Flippen struck out one of the 4 strikeouts. And so Morgan Rackle rocks, kicks, and deals, and that one missed low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. That one's low. So Rackle falling behind. Of course, for the USA, they would love to get some more base runners for the meat of this order coming up. Flipping with a 2-0 count. Asks for time. Not granted. That's the 2nd time we've seen that today. The pitch is in for a strike. There was a specific decree saying that the umpires basically are not supposed to grant time if they think the hitter is simply using it as a way to mess with the timing of the pitcher or delay the game. There's a pitch clock, of course. And that one just missed. And Zoe Hicks turns around to ask directly where. 3 balls and 1 strike. And now time is called. One thing we have not yet seen is a video review.
We have not.
That's something that is new in the tournament this year. It was not part of the group play last year. 3-1. There's a little chopper to left side. Learn from behind the bag. The throw is offline and gets off the glove of Wong and headed to second base. The throw is not in time. Sliding in safely, Hannah Flippen. That'll be an E6. Maybe also a base hit. But importantly for the U.S., it's a runner at second base with nobody out.
And Flippen rolls over here, but Janet does a great job. A quick transfer just off the bag. Flippen being super aggressive. Her team's down 2-0. Goes in hard to the bag. And we see the throw to second is
convincing. You make the call.
And I'm curious to see if Leong at short, if she takes that ball at second and gives the first baseman a different target, if that's a potential different call with a good throw, of course.
Yeah, based on the angle of the umpire's view, yeah. So clearly we're reviewing that call at second base. The umpires during this process, they're not looking at a monitor, they're communicating via headphones with the review umpire. And it was stated to us in no uncertain terms yesterday, the general idea is they're just gonna try to get the call right. So if they think the call was wrong based on what they see in the video review, they will overturn it.
With enough evidence, right?
There needs to be enough evidence. There are 6 cameras, stationary cameras, set up around the ballpark. And I wonder if we're going to get a ruling here as Callie Rafter and Heather Tarr are being invited to the area behind home plate. Now, the other thing that we were told is if the play itself that is in question wasn't Yeah, they've changed it. It's an out. So they're going to say that the throw was there in time, and Canada actually records the out. So the tag. So I don't know that we see the same view that they see in the booth. There are 6 stationary cameras set up that are separate from the broadcast. And so they have a different view from us, and the call has been overturned, and that is a huge play because Hannah Flippen, who had reached first base on a single, gets thrown out 3-4 trying to advance. And just to finish the thought, this pitch is low to Amanda Lawrence. What happened there, if the camera for whatever reason malfunctions, somebody's standing in front of it and they don't capture the play at all, and they say we can't do a review, then the manager will not lose their challenge in that case. That's just important bookkeeping for those of you at home that want to know the logistics of this. But that is, if I'm correct, that's the first video review in WBSC World Cup history, and Canada wins it. So they can put that in their belt. The pitch is a strike called 2-1, 1 out for Amanda Lawrence.
And regardless of the outcome of that play, Hannah Flippen taking that extra base, hustling over there, that could be something that gives Team USA a little bit of momentum, a little bit of motivation to try and turn things around here. And so I'm interested to see what happens and see if it can kind of spark something in them.
It's also another one of those things, and we've talked about it, you hear it every time that pitch is outside for ball 4. Now what is that play? How large will that loom in the inning? But close games, there's always little things like that that tilt the scale in one direction or the other.
Number 78.
And I think that's why some people agree or disagree with the video review, the challenges in softball now, but also in MLB and Major League, is it can be a deciding factor in a win or a loss. And
well, right now, Jocelyn Allo, representing the tying run, looks at a ball outside. Allo struck out her first time. Lorenz is on first base. Second time through the lineup for Morgan Rackle here. And a line shot off the glove of Luring into center field, a base hit, and crossing all the way to third base on the play, Lawrence. First it was nearly caught by Rackle, then it was nearly caught by Luring. And now USA gets a break. That's the first hit of the game, second hit of the game. 2 glove deflections on one play. If it's caught, it's a double play.
And you see, because it's deflected off Rackle's glove, it throws off Leong's timing at shortstop. And so I think if, as shortstop, sometimes when your pitcher tips it, it's almost worse. Leong's an amazing athletic shortstop, can maybe catch that if it doesn't deflect. But a pitcher obviously being reactive and aggressive, they want to try and catch that ball as well.
So immediately after that close call that was reviewed and overturned for an out, now Lawrence with the walk, and then Jocelyn Allo with the single. She is going to be pinch run for by Nicole Bates. Sis Bates, as she is known, of course. So she's pinch running for Allo. She is representing the tying run. There's only 1 out in the inning, and now the hitter is Jessica Warren. And right now, Rienzo, the home plate umpire, is over talking to someone on the third base side.
First base now is number 96, Nicole Bates.
And Callie Rafter is going to come out to the circle. I wonder if she's going to be making some changes. And that's what that meeting was.
And timely changes are huge in this sport, and that's where the coaches come into play, knowing your opponent. If you leave Rackle in there too long with runners on, that could change the game. One big swing from Team USA and they're ahead. And so being timely with these changes is key to winning, losing, changing momentum of the game, keeping your team ahead. And that's another aspect to this elite level. You have Team USA that is just extremely powerful, strong hitters.
Although it looks like Rackle's going to stay in there. Just double checking my numbers. And so now, Jessica Warren. We saw Alo in her first at-bat struck out. The second look, a solid line drive. And, you know, the second time through the order, that's the danger zone. The pitch is taken for a ball to Warren. Warren grounded out to first her first time. Bates running for Alo at first base. Lorenz is at third. Those are the tying runs. A double play is in order. Boy, how huge would that be for Canada? Of course, Warren looking to drive something deep to bring home her teammates. And there's a little roller to short. Leung flips it to second. That's all they'll get. The run will score. That was a great play by Janet Leung, however. She went into a slide and glove flipped it to Kelsey Harshman on the bag just in time to get the force.
Reaching first is Jessica Warren.
So Lorenz scores. Bates is out. 6-4 on the force, and there are two away. Give a run batted into Jessica Warren. There's a close play. You see the slide both of Leung and Bates going in, and now Rafter has gone out to the circle for a second time, and that's going to be it for Morgan Rackle. So she just wanted one more batter to try to get that double play. It was hit to the right spot, wasn't hit hard enough. And we're going to take a short break with 2 outs here in the 4th inning. It's 2-1 Canada. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.sport. Old Georgetown, Ontario native Dawn Bodrug. She made her Canadian debut in 2022 at the Pan Am Championship. And she's going to have to deal with Deja Mulipola with Warren on first and 2 outs. And right now there's another conversation between Renzo Ruiz. I think he's using an interpreter to communicate with the coaching staff of Canada. I believe that's why they're huddled over on the right side.
Replacing number 99, Morgan Rackle, is number 18, Dawn Bodrug.
So Dawn Bodrug will take over things. There are 2 down. A run is in, 2-1. Canada still leading in this game, but USA always threatening when the game is this close. They've got their first hit of the game in this inning, Jocelyn Alo's single. Excuse me, Flippin had a single, and then Alo had their second base hit. I guess they've changed the scoring actually on Hannah Flippin's E6. Originally they had scored that as a single, I believe, and then they've changed it to an E6. That was the play in which she reached first and then was thrown out on video review trying to go to second base. So now, whatever the delay is, it is over with. Rienzo, hope that umpire is ready to go back there. With 2 down, Warren on first base, Deja Mulipola at the plate. She was intentionally walked her first time. And a strike on the inside corner, first pitch from Dawn Bodrug. Bodrug, in her final college season in Stony Brook, New York, went 19-7 with an ERA of 2. Set a record, a school record of 285 strikeouts. And that one is inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mulipola, one of the very dangerous hitters as far as long ball is concerned. And there's the a good example of it. It was a foul ball, but that was launched. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Deja Mulipola.
Yeah, these last 3 pitches have been a little flat. Bodra's gonna have to start to make these USA hitters kind of guess or get their timing right. Anything flat over the plate, Deja has that home run power that can easily put USA ahead.
2-2 as that last one was down and away. Bodrug dealing with Mulipola. Here it comes. High and outside, a full count. I expect that Bodrug will still be very careful here. And she was. It was an off-speed pitch down and out of the strike zone for ball 4. And so this is the portion of the game, you know, the hitters have all faced. Obviously it was Morgan, Rackle, but still the longer you go into a game, the more the hitters get into the rhythm, no matter who's in the circle. The more careful you have to become, and then you're going to start seeing pitches like that that are going to just be off the plate. And now Janae Jefferson fouls one directly back here for a strike.
Well, that's part of the game, is throwing hitters off with their timing, trying to get them leaning forward, trying to get them early on outside pitches. And that's key, being able to get those pitches to be effective.
And now Sis Bates is going to go out there and run again for Mulipola. Mulipola is the catcher. Obviously, they can put a courtesy runner in there. But this is, I believe, a pinch runner.
Nicole Bates at first base.
1 strike on Jefferson. That's up high. 1 ball, 1 strike. And we mentioned now it was a 2-run lead. Now you think back to that inning when Canada had 2nd and 3rd and nobody out and couldn't get any more.
Yeah, going back to trying to capitalize on every opportunity.
There's a fly ball to left field, and Polidori runs it down in the gap, going quite a long way to get there. But she pulls it down to stave off any further damage. So the USA gets a run, 1 run on 1 hit. They had 3 walks in the inning. 2 walks and an error, rather. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 left. We're going to the 5th inning. It's 2-1 Canada. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.sport. Estrada, Canada leading the USA by a score of 2-1. And it will be 9-1-2. Grace Messmer, Kelsey Harshman, and Erica Polidori against the left-hander Kelly Maxwell. Maxwell in her 2nd inning of work, swing and a miss from Messmer. That was an off-speed pitch, I believe. She was out in front.
And up in the zone, too, changing the hitter's eyes. We talked about Carta hiding the ball a little bit. Maxwell does a great job keeping it in her glove, especially from that left side for a righty. Not being able to see it as much because of their stride hides it a little bit. So going up, making the hitter look up from your hip is crucial and huge if you can make that an effective pitch.
Well, she painted the corner on the last one and just missed that one down. 1-2 the count to Grace Messmer. Now, Carta started, she went 3, allowed 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. A lot of 2s there.
2s.
Deuce is wild, almost. That pitch is outside for ball 2. And Maxwell struck out 2 of the hitters she faced last inning. 2-2 count here on Grace Messmer, the number 9 hitter. And that one swung on and missed. It's in the dirt. Good block by Mulipola. She throws to Garcia, and they get the out. Third strikeout for Maxwell. The pitch dropping down and out, I believe.
And Messmer out in front of it, but almost guessing at the pitch. And that's what you start to do when you're struggling. And that's what Canada needs to get back to, is get back into the frame of mind that they had earlier in this game. They can't be guessing on pitches or Maxwell's just going to dominate them. They need to stay short, poke the ball in a sense, just barrel it up, hit the good part of it, and continue and go back to playing the game one base at a time.
Kelsey Harshman with an 0-1 count. That one misses outside. Yeah, early in the game, they had some good barrels, and including those 2 RBI doubles from Pilgrim and Polidori.
And Maxwell, a very different pitcher than Carta. Carta has that speed. Her balls, rise balls straight up, and it's fast. You have to be able to catch up to it. Maxwell, a little more spinny, a little more drop to it. Again, that plays a big part in the hitter's mind. They guess. They want to think about what's coming next. And if you're already flustered a little bit, like USA is having a bit of a comeback. So starting to guess, starting to second guess it.
No swing, says the umpire, 2-2. Yeah, when you're up there guessing, it's very tough. And
well, you're not feeling confident about yourself. The Canada lineup was super confident the first 1 or 2 times through. Now they're swinging at balls at their eyes, balls in the dirt. They need to dial it back, take a deep breath, have the confidence they had a little bit earlier in the game.
Yeah, that's a pitch that I think as it's coming out of the hand, it looks like it's going to be in the strike zone, and then by the time you've swung at it, you realize it was a mistake. That's 4 consecutive strikeouts going back to last inning for Kelly Maxwell. And now Erica Polidori. She's walked and doubled, drove in a run and scored one. That pitch is a strike to her.
Well, yeah, and Maxwell with the strikeouts now giving USA the confidence on the defensive side. They struggled earlier making plays that they don't normally do when ball go to the fence. Maxwell's doing a great job coming in, doing what she needs to do, striking out these Canada players, not letting them on base, and doing exactly what she needs to do.
Yeah, she nearly airmailed that one up and in on Polidori. I think it was an off-speed pitch. Otherwise, that might have been a bit more scary from the batter's point of view. The 1-1. That's outside and high. 2 balls and a strike to Erica Polidori. And that one is low and inside. 3 balls and a strike. You know, Polidori, outside of softball, she works as a nurse. And so when the Olympics were postponed in 2020, she just went to work and was part of the force helping things keep going. And she works at the Credit Valley Hospital in Mississauga. There's a hot shot right through Hannah Flippin into left field. And Polidori is aboard. A rare mistake from Hannah Flippin. That ball was right at her, and she came up on it, and it just got under her glove. And so that's going to be an E6, I presume.
Now batting number 72.
And that'll bring up CC Wong. So a chance for Canada. 2 out hits. Their hit in the first inning to score a run was with 2 outs. Wong takes a strike.
As you said, Tim, a rare error from Hannah Flippin at short, but now gives Canada that opportunity to see if they can capitalize. They haven't had a runner on this inning.
Swing and a miss by Wong, 1-1. You wonder if maybe they might send Polidori, especially if the count gets to 2 strikes. Try to get her into scoring position.
That's tough.
Yeah, everything's tough. I think
it's tough. You want to give.
No, that's strike 3. I missed one of the pitches. My apologies. You can complete your thought, however.
I'm just like, it depends on who you have coming up, who USA has coming up. who's throwing behind the plate, all those play a factor into it if you have confidence in your hitter. And the way Canada has been playing, I'd give I'd keep her at first and let your hitter hit.
Bottom of the fifth inning coming up for the USA, 8-9-1. Rachel Garcia, Maya Brady, and Haley McClenny against Dawn Bodrug. Canada leading 2-1. Another close affair. We've seen scores of 3-0 and 3-1, and now a pop fly into right field for Pilgrim. Looking up into that very high sky, she pulls it down for out number one. One pitch, and Garcia is gone. One away for Maya Brady.
Anytime you can get Team USA out on a pop fly first pitch, that's a very successful pitch. And exactly what you want your pitchers doing in the fifth inning.
And this one hits Brady, and she will take first base. And Bodrug was asking to see if they could declare, you almost never see it called that the umpire will keep the batter at home plate because they tried not to get out of the way. That's sort of a accepted play. So the hit batter, Brady, is at first base. No real argument from the Canada side other than a few words by Bodrug. And now the top of the order. That's a strike. McClenny is 0 for 2. She struck out and grounded out. Anytime there's a base runner, Canada has to have their blood pressure go up a little bit. And that one is low and outside. Good job by Hicks to go and get that ball. And she overthrew it on the way back to the circle.
Yeah, I think Canada needs to sharpen it up a little bit. Like you said, anytime USA gets a runner on, you can't let your guard down in a sense at any second. Any hit can be a go-ahead hit, a home run. Especially in this heat, the girls are getting tired. They need to sharpen it up a little bit.
Brady, the runner at first base, representing the tying run. There's one away here in the fifth inning. And a line shot through the right side into right field for a base hit. Brady will stop at second as the throw comes in from Callum Pilgrim. And so USA has this inning set up in their favor. Hannah Flippen coming to the plate with runners on first and second.
Now coming back, number 37,
We'll lead off. It's crucial in softball. Lead off batter gets on. Most of the time, I think the percentage is 65, 70% of the time when your leadoff hitter gets on, you're able to score them over. With Flippen up to bat, again, home run power, can definitely put the ball in play somewhere hard and score 2 runs and put herself in scoring position.
Right now, there's going to be a meeting with Dawn Bodrug on the mound. There is one out in the inning, so she has that in her favor. Runners on first and second, so double play is still in order. But pitching coach for Canada saw something to talk about with Bodrug, and right now that conversation is taking place.
And that could be trying to keep the ball low, maybe off speed, get Flippen rolling over, try and get a double play out of it. You do not want to leave anything flat in the zone, of course, where she can drive it into a hole. They need to be smart here.
They have good speed on the bases with Brady at second, McClenny at first. One ball, the count to Hannah Flippen, who struck out, and then she reached on the error and was thrown out on that play that was overturned via the video review. And there's a chopper up the middle through into center field. A base hit coming around third is Brady. She will score as the ball was bobbled in center field by Larissa Franklin. And that ties the game at 2. So a game-tying RBI single off the bat of Hannah Flippen.
And that ball's right over the plate. Flippen being aggressive. Straight up the middle, a little bobble. But again, the aggressive part of this game, being aggressive, a lot of the times the other team doesn't expect it. So when you're swinging at a first pitch, it's aggressive. It's a not, you know, like they're not going to expect it. Maybe your ball's just flat, not curving.
Now Lawrence takes a strike on the first pitch. At any rate, you know, the USA, they're so good at putting the pressure on. You kind of have the feeling at some point one of the balls is going to get through or it's going to fly over. And they're such a good team. Pitches up high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Canada has played very tough so far today. And we are knotted at 2. It's a brand new game. 1-1. Still 1 out. Runners on first and second. McClenny is now at second. Flippin is at first. Lawrence, who has walked and flied out. Now she flies one to left field towards the line, playable for Polidori. She makes the grab, and the runners have to go back. That's an important second out for Don Bodrow.
I think just the atmosphere when Team USA is on the field is something else. You know, if they're struggling, it's when is it going to happen? When are they going to turn it around? We're not seeing big hits out of them right now, but they're still chipping their way. They're finding ways to get on. They're moving each other around and scoring, and now they've tied it up. So are they coming back the way we know they normally do? No, but they're coming back.
And here's Jocelyn Allo at the plate with 2 on and 2 outs. And that's, you know, we've talked about the mental aspect of this game, the things that you have to do when you're in the circle and just dealing with the elements of what's happening in the 5 innings or so that you're playing. But then you talk about that, and the USA, they have this whole history that they just bring with them to the ballpark. Everybody knows how good they are. Everybody knows how much they can hit, how good they can pitch, how great a defensive team they are. Everybody knows they're the #1 ranked team for a reason, and that can also work in their favor because other teams can still get in their own head just based on that.
Well, right, and that's what USA brings. You're 0-0, not even a first pitch yet, and you're already on the defense.
Yeah.
And that's tough. That's tough to be leading 2-0 as Canada was earlier and think that you're actually winning.
There's a big chopper off the plate past the circle, and the throw to first is in time by Harshman to get the final out of the inning. And so we're going to go to the 6th inning, tied at 2 in this one. USA ties it up. They get 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. To the 6th inning, 2-2. What a ball game. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup, live on Game Time. Top of the 6th inning coming up. Canada and the USA tied at 2. For Canada, it's going to be 4, 5, and 6. Callum Pilgrim, Larissa Franklin, and Janet Leung against the left-hander Kelly Maxwell, who has dominated in 2 innings of relief. Only allowed 1 base runner. That was on the error. And besides that, she has 5 strikeouts in the 2 innings. So now Callum Pilgrim will get her first look at Kelly Maxwell. And she fouls away the first one. It was Pilgrim who started things on the offensive side for Canada with an RBI double in the 1st inning. In the 3rd inning, she struck out. Canada scored their runs in the 1st and 3rd. The USA have plated a run in the 4th and 5th, respectively. Maxwell asking for a new ball from the home plate umpire. One strike to Callum Pilgrim. Infield back, outfield back. No trick plays going on right now. That pitch is in there for a strike. Haven't seen a lot of bunting in this game. And I think I know why.
Well, when Canada comes out swinging huge 1st inning, they're hitting off Ali Carter that speed. No reason to, especially with the speed and the power that Carter brings. That ball's going to fly off the bat and just kind of roll back at her. But their bats were on fire earlier in this game. They need to find that again. But if they continue to struggle and they want to win this game, then they can start to look towards that small game.
There's a grounder to Flippin, who makes the play to first. 1 away as Pilgrim grounds out. Now Maxwell has really kind of knocked the bats out of the hands since coming in with those 5 strikeouts. That was a nice weak ground ball. Easy job for Hannah Flippin. who made the error on that other ball. That ball that she made the error on was hit a lot harder than that. But I'm sure she would tell you she should have made that play.
Yeah, Flippin's definitely a player that when she makes an error, she doesn't accept it herself, goes all out. You see her wearing that face mask, had an injury in their pre-games and stuff because she goes so hard. And so being part of Team USA, you don't accept making those errors, and you're going to change things around. You're going to make adjustments, even if it's easy balls.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I know any great players that accept errors like that. So it's a quality you want in a player.
Absolutely.
1-1 the count to Larissa Franklin. Franklin is 0 for 2. And that off-speed pitch missed the outside edge. You can hear the glove slap when Maxwell releases it, even though we're behind all kinds of, we're sort of barricaded in our booth. We can see everything, but to be able to hear it through all that. There's a high pop right behind the plate. It's playable, and it's caught by Mulipola. Didn't even have time to remove the mask. And so there are 2 down for Janet Learn.
Now batting for Team Canada, number 14.
Well, in the first 3 innings, you know, we've harped on it over and over again. But Canada, they had base runners all over the place. And since the entry of Kelly Maxwell, they've had exactly 1. Learn is the 10th hitter that Maxwell has faced. That pitch is outside. Learn has swung the bat very well today, despite being 0 for 2. She was robbed by Amanda Lorenz in her last at bat. She drove a ball deep to the gap in left center field. There's a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. And Lorenz very casually covered a lot of ground.
Leong's that player is once she starts to find her rhythm, she's almost unstoppable. And that's what Canada needs, this being their first game in the tournament. Leong swung well, but hasn't been on. You wanna get on. She needs to find that rhythm, continue to help Canada get through this game, but also leading into the rest of the week.
And a strike on the outside corner evens the count 2-2. Maxwell chucking the ball into her glove. A little bit of animation after that one. Sometimes you can smell that final strike in an inning. Maxwell appears to have that look on her face right now. Now she's asking for time. And I almost thought she was going to ask for another ball. Perhaps she just wanted another sign. And Luring stays alive. It seems like Maxwell, when she came into the game, she was loose and relaxed, and now she's starting to crank up the intensity ever so slightly. You watch her demeanor in the circle, the way she turns around, the way in between those last 2 pitches, she was animatedly throwing the ball into her own glove. That's some energy. And misses with an off speed.
Well, yeah, she's come in. USA has a great pitching staff. Follows up, Ali Carta comes in, keeps Canada to not scoring any runs. Now a great pitching, batting duel here with Janet Leong.
Well, she knows this game is not over. It's a 2-2 tie, so she's got to keep it right where it is. And Learn pops one into short right, well, onto the outfield grass, pulled down by Jefferson. And it's a 1-2-3. So Maxwell comes in and does her job. Nothing across the board for Canada. We've gone into a bit of a lull on the offensive side, but we're going to the bottom of the 6th inning, which means the drama is going to build up ever so slightly. 2-2 actually is the score. A lot of 1s on my scorecard, however. We're going to the bottom of the 6th. Canada and USA tied. As we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, looking at the line score, both teams 2 runs, 3 hits, and 1 error. That's how evenly they have played. And it's going to be Jessica Warren, Deja Mulipola, and Janae Jefferson 5, 6, and 7 in the order for the USA against Don Bodrug. Warren looks at a ball on the first pitch. Warren is over 2, but she did drive home a run with a fielder's choice. And that one is low. Warren has that low crouch of a batting stance. Bodrug trying to hit the very upper edge of the strike zone, has missed twice.
And that makes it tough when Warren's in such a low stance, because when she swings, her body kind of straightens up a little bit, giving her some extra power, but the strike zone changes at that point. So it's a little intimidating in a sense. You really have to nail and hit your spot. And Bodrug's been working the inside corner.
There's the 2-1. There's a line shot to right center field. That's going to drop for a base hit in front of Pilgrim. She's able to cut it off and get it in quickly. Leadoff single for USA. Jessica Warren is on base. And now Deja Mulipola, who has walked twice, once intentionally, once maybe slightly less than intentionally, but they were being very careful with her nonetheless. That one is inside. The shadows have begun to creep onto the field. The hitter is completely in the shade. I don't think that it really makes that much of a difference for the hitter.
It depends, especially if you've got a shadow like right in the middle in between home and the mound, and then there's one creeping up on home plate. It can make a difference. Just depends on the hitter. But as long as you can track it in from the hip, from the release, that's the most important part.
Warren off first base, 1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Mulipola. And that one missed a little bit high and outside, 2-1. We saw Morgan Rackle being very careful. She got some good strikeouts early in the game and then had to be a lot more careful the second time through the order. Bodrug has basically picked up where she left off. That one's high and outside. They have really not wanted any part of pitching to Mulipola.
Yeah, maybe working around the strike zone, see if she'll chase something, get a little ground ball, ground out, playing it a little safe maybe. But with 3-1, if they walk her, then you've got runners on first and second with no outs. And that's dangerous when you have USA up to bat.
And that's exactly what just happened. Mulipola has walked 3 times in this game. And so now Warren moves to second base. Janae Jefferson will step up. And a meeting of the minds in the circle amongst the infielders and Don Bodrug. Canada and USA tied at 2. I mentioned the last time these two teams played, the USA beat Canada 8-3. That was in the Pan Am Games. But Canada, they have been playing well. They've been playing a lot together of late. And they have to feel good regardless of what might transpire from here to the end of this game. They got to feel very good about how the first 5+ innings of this game have gone. So now Janae Jefferson shows bunt, pulls it back. The pitch is outside for a ball. I was talking about how we've not seen a lot of bunting. This is, if you're going to do it, this is the situation.
Yeah, no outs, runners on first and second. It's a tie game. You need to put a runner in scoring position. You need to put a runner on third. That way, next batter can drive a ball deep. Even if it's caught, can still score a run, and that's the winning run, the going-ahead run. So playing something small here is a good idea.
Well, Jefferson bunted that one foul. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. She showed bunt, pulled it back, and then showed it again, and then bunted foul. Little cat and mouse. There's the 1-1. That one is low and outside. All of the pitches have been down and away to Jefferson. That one she was running up on it like she was going to maybe slap it. 2-1. There's nobody out. Runners on first and second. Warren and Mulipola. And that is low for ball 3. Bodrug working herself into a very deep hole here. Rachel Garcia is on deck. And you might think to yourself, well, it's a number 8 hitter. Well, Rachel Garcia, not a normal number 8 hitter. Neither is Maya Brady in the number 9 spot.
Well, we see the Canada defense here almost positive for a bunt or a slap in that hole.
Oh, what a play by Learn to get the out at first. It was a little one-hopper. It got past Mesmer. Learn on the run with her momentum, carrying her towards the third base line, very quickly releasing that ball. That's the only way to make that play.
And she's actually the one I was talking about. She was playing more towards third base as a shortstop. A little bit of a cheat, expecting a bunt or a slap. She was in the right position. If she's playing straight up like she normally does at short, I don't think she's getting to that ball in time. Even though she's got a quick release, she's not going to be able to make that throw in time. So her, again, reading the play, scouting, being in the absolute right position was perfect. And now able to get an out for Canada.
The infield is going to come in second and third with one out for Rachel Garcia over 2. She shows bunt and bunts. I believe she pulled the bat back, and so it's a ball. So the safety squeeze, trying to bunt it past the infielders. Of course, the corners, they're kind of back.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you really expect Rachel Garcia to be bunting, but with first base open, that's what makes it so difficult for the defense. Is it a squeeze? It's 2-2. You know they're going to want to be aggressive and try and get that go-ahead run, but they also don't need to. First base is open. There's one out. Bases loaded. And that's why this play is so hard with such a great hitter up to bat.
2 balls and no strikes. And she shows bunt again, and that one is inside, ball 3. You wonder if they maybe just intentionally walk her here. And Hicks going to go out and talk to Bodrug. Well, the runner's on second and third. And she showed bunt on all 3 pitches. All 3 have missed inside, and they haven't really been particularly close.
And by the way she's been showing it, I'm not sure, maybe the first pitch, but this last one, it wasn't really an attempt to bunt, just kind of getting the defense to kind of show their cards and see what they're going to do, how they're breaking towards home. If she gets a strike, then she's able to swing.
You think she's going to swing 3-0 here?
I don't think she'll swing 3-0, but if she would have taken a strike that she was showing bunt, it's not bad. Then she's got an opportunity to swing away.
Well, Bodrug poured that one right through there. It's now 3-1. Now she will be swinging. Warren is at third. Mulipola is at second. 1 out, 3-1. She shows bunt, and that one is inside for ball 4. Bases loaded. A single and 2 walks in the inning. And now Maya Brady. Well, if you're Canada, the silver lining is now there's a force anywhere. But that is that's a very, very slim silver lining. And indeed, we're going to get a mound visit here, or a circle visit, as Bodrug out there laboring in the heat under the pressure of this 2-2 game. You know, we mentioned how quickly this tournament develops. You get one chance to beat your rival. And when you have a 2-2 score this late in the game against a team like USA, like, this is your chance. You're not going to get a better one.
Right, and I'm sure they're thinking that as well. They're thinking, how do we play this 1 out, bases loaded to Team USA? They hit the ball hard. They can play that to their advantage, being able to try and get a double play with Brady from the left side. Will she drop a bunt? Will she slap? You don't know. So, again, staying calm, being able to kind of plan ahead, have a pre-pitch plan on if you get the ball, what are you going to do with it is going to be key. But again, this is your opportunity. How are you going to defend it and keep this game at a 2-2 tie?
Brady lined out and was hit by a pitch, and now she lines one to the gap, and there's going to be a merry-go-round. In to score is Warren. Mulipola in to score. The stop sign is held up at third for Garcia. It's a 2-run double for Maya Brady. No bunting there. USA leads 4-2.
Brady being aggressive on that first pitch, right down the middle. And that's a good idea. Garcia, the pitch, the at-bat before, struggled.
That doesn't matter now because the situation she's walking into is a perilous one. The top of the order, Haley McClenny, with runners on second and third, Garcia and Brady. USA leads 4-2. And the first pitch is popped up into left field, playable for Lorenz. Excuse me. This is Polidori. She makes the catch. Runner tags from third and scores. Throw to third is in time. The out there. And that will end the inning, but the run counts. It is 5-2 USA on a sacrifice fly that turns into a double play. That was an alert play by Zoe Hicks to throw behind Brady, who was also trying to advance after watching that play transpire. So the inning is over after one pitch. So Groenewegen throws one pitch. Give McClaney an RBI as Garcia scored and Brady is thrown out at third base. So the USA score 3 runs and take the lead 5-2. And we're going to go to the 7th inning. Last chance now for Canada. They held so close for so long, and now it's the 7th inning. They trail 5-2. USA on top. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup.
With the notes of YMCA, un saluto alla nostra mascotte Mandy in esibizione del famigerato brano YMCA. We're about 1 minute to go to start after the cooling break for Game 3 between Canada and Team USA. Meno di un minuto dalla ripartenza della sfida tra Canada e Stati Uniti, che comincerà dal 7º inning con gli Stati Uniti in vantaggio 5-2.
The 17th Women's Softball World Cup live from Castellones d'Estrada, Tim Collins, Amanda Fama. Later on, you're going to hear back from Chris Knobloch in the evening game between China and Italy. That's going to be a really fun matchup as the day turns into the night. Right now, USA, thanks to the 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning, breaking the 2-2 tie, they lead 5-2. Canada had been staring directly into their eyes throughout the first 6 innings of the game, but finally Maya Brady with the bases loaded double to break the tie, and then after that a sac fly off the bat of McClenny. And now Zoe Hicks stands in there. 7, 8, 9, Hicks, Jones, and Mesmer against Kelly Maxwell, who has allowed 1 base runner, and it was via an error. She has absolutely been dominant since coming into the game. Hicks is 0 for 2. There's a pop-up behind the plate, foul, strike 2. Well, not a lot of outs left for Canada to play with. Hicks going to try to find some way to get on base. That's a tough task against Maxwell.
Especially the way Maxwell's been throwing today, regardless of the day. She's throwing great, coming in when Carter struggled, really keeping Canada limited on their base runners, their hits, their contact even.
And she had Hicks way out in front of that one, waving, just trying to stay alive. I think we might see a pitch like that again. In the dirt, blocked by Mulipola. She tags out Hicks. That's a strikeout. That is strikeout number 6 for Kelly Maxwell in 3 1/3 innings. One away, and Kiana Jones is going to give way to a pinch hitter. This is Natalie Weidman. Weidman, who has been with the Canadian national team since 2011. And she looks at a pitch outside. From Mississauga, Ontario. Jones, while she was in there, had been 0 for 2. The lineup has not yet even gone 3 complete times through the order against USA pitching. That's how efficient Maxwell has been. Carter allowed several base runners, but Maxwell has really cleaned house.
Well, we see Maxwell throwing off the timing of the Canada hitters. You see them almost just throwing their bat out there, slapping at it, not really being able to step even. Again, talked about kind of guessing. They're not getting set. They don't know what's coming, and that's why Maxwell is doing so well here.
Yeah, it's the frustrating feeling of being a hitter when you see a pitch, you think it's going to be hittable, you swing at it, it disappears, and then the one you take is right on the corner for a strike, like that last one. Fouled away, strike 2.
And that's going to be important for Canada to forget about if they end this game feeling like that. They've got the rest of the tournament still. This is their first game, so they need to try and end positive and not think, oh, my last at bat I struggled. I was not sure what was coming. They need to find something positive in this game, look towards the first half of it.
There's a swing and a miss. The ball goes to the backstop. Throw to first is not in time. And so the strikeout wild pitch will allow Weidman to reach. And so there's a base runner. Well, you know, to your point, Amanda, there's a lot positive for Canada to take from this game.
And that's the part they need to see. If this game does end the way with with USA on top, there is a positive that Canada needs to find. Stuff they can work on, of course, but they are facing Team USA. They were winning this game. They were doing so well. And it's those little things that they're going to have to adjust. They're going to have to get their timing down. They're going to have to get set and have the confidence for the rest of this tournament.
There's a drive to center field right into the glove of the center fielder, Haley McClenny. And that's the second out. Now, for the USA, you have to be very encouraged by how Maxwell has pitched. By the way, Maya Brady swung the bat. You've got some solid contact from Jocelyn Allo as well. This is a team that you know is at some point going to just unload some serious runs on the scoreboard. And sometimes a team that comes in with those types of expectations, they play a close game and suddenly they're off their game. There's a ground ball to the right side. Jefferson throws to first in time, and the game is over. USA has defeated Canada 5-2. And it was a really well-played game from both teams. It was a 2-2 tie until the bottom of the 6th inning. And Maya Brady breaking that tie, getting the clutch hit to drive home 2 runs. Excellent pitching in relief from Kelly Maxwell. Ali Carter had to battle, didn't have her best stuff, but still kept it close. And that's all you want if you're Heather Tarr and Team USA. You have a lot of games ahead of you. Canada, also, they got to feel very good about the performance they had.
Yeah, I think Canada can see this as a great game, learn from it, be able to be successful throughout a whole game, just like they were for the first 3 innings of this. If they can continue to do that for 7 innings, they're going to come out in a great position leading into the rest of the week. USA needs to come out like the USA that we all know, because both these teams have a tough week ahead.
Yeah, like we said, it's an entire season squeezed into 5 days worth of play, and then playoffs and championship after that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You know where to find us. We're going to be back for the evening game. It's going to be Chris Knobloch along with Amanda. We're going to be back on it, working hard today. I'd like to thank you all for joining us. Final score, USA 5-2 over Canada. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup, live on GameTime.Sports.